Today I want to tell you not just about a device, but to share a story. A story about how a simple and seemingly obvious idea turned into a tool that saves lives on the front line. This is the story of how the Chuyka drone detector was created. At the beginning of the full-scale invasion, when the sky started to fill en masse with enemy drones and FPV drones, we all realized one terrifying thing. When you hear the sound of a drone, you're already too late. You have only seconds, and these aren't the kind of seconds that give you an advantage. We needed a way to learn about the threat in advance, and we thought, what if we stop listening and start seeing to see what the enemy sees? This is the first prototype of Chuyka, and to be honest with you, it was a very rough device that was constantly buzzing, and it reacted to absolutely everything, sometimes even to birds. Just kidding. It would react to any signal in the air. Ours, theirs, even interference from a microwave. And we realized that simply knowing something is flying somewhere is not enough at all. You need to see the picture. And that's how the main concept of the Chuyka was born. Not just a scanner, but a video signal detector. At first, we implemented the most common frequencies at that time, 1.2 and 5.8 gigahertz. But war is a constant race of technologies. The enemy began to massively use 3.3, and we had to adapt. It was a constant challenge, which, as you understand, we overcame, and now you can use the improved Chuyka. Why Chuyka and not just a television? And here many of you might ask, guys, why all of this? Why not just take a small regular TV? Believe me, we started out with those ourselves, running around the training grounds. The difference is in automation and brains. For example, you're sitting at a position. With a TV in your hands, you have to constantly switch channels manually. All your attention is focused on this process. But Chuyka does it for you, constantly scanning the entire spectrum. Our team clearly remembers the day we first went out to the training ground with the first working prototype. Honestly, we didn't have high expectations. It was just a test. And there we are, standing at the training ground. Everything around is silent. And suddenly, an image appears on the screen. But it's a clear image from someone else's drone, not from ours, the one we were planning to test and had brought with us. A completely foreign one. Those were other pilots who were testing their devices at the same training ground. And our detector picked up their signal. That was our first success. And after those tests, we talked about the detector on TikTok for the first time. That video got us our first 1 million views. Why is it beeping?
This is something that will soon be in every car, in every dugout on the front line. This is the detector. At the moment, it can detect that there's a drone somewhere, just one button, and we can already see the image. Right now, our guys are getting ready to test the electronic warfare system, and we can watch it at any moment.
At that moment, we realized that this was a powerful idea that works, and that our soldiers really need it. Then there were exhibitions with Chuyka, our first exhibitions where we also intercepted video and were very happy about it. But most importantly, we saw hope and a real need for this device in the eyes of the soldiers. The most important thing that Chuyka gave them at that time was time. And we, as the media department that shows and talks about our devices, at first didn't even realize what a powerful thing we had in our hands. But along with trust came a problem. Amid the great excitement and demand for Chuyka, scammers started to appear. Fake accounts, counterfeit websites, and DMs from people promising delivery and then disappearing with the money. These people profit from trust. And worst of all, they exploit the trust of our soldiers, who genuinely believe they are buying themselves a chance to survive. We do everything we can to counter this, but scammers are adaptable. The only things that help are caution and verification. It's an unpleasant aspect of creating the device, developing a gut feeling, but it exists and we have to keep telling you about it. To sum up, we want to say that intuition is the result of a long and difficult journey. These are the very seconds that allow you to react and survive. And most importantly, intuition is proof that Ukrainian engineering can create technologies that change the situation on the battlefield. If you're interested in how our other developments were created, leave your questions in the comments and see you in our next videos.